It's been almost a week since Donald Trump was elected president, and protests have erupted across the United States as lefties refuse to accept what hardworking Americans voted for. But the protests are spreading across the border to Vancouver, where over the weekend social justice warriors gathered at the nearly completed Trump International Hotel and Tower. I went down to one of the protests outside the tower where there were about 200 people with anti-Trump signs, a Mexican flag, and the usual lame chants of "Love Trump's hate," and of course the more vulgar "F Donald Trump." Yeah, nothing original this side of the border either. This protest in particular was put on by Vancouver Antifa. Antifa means anti-fascist, and these are the types of people familiar to people in Europe these days as radical left-wing agitators, who usually cover their faces and start trouble. Thankfully, though, no such trouble arose at the protest. But take a look at this post on the Facebook event for this protest by the host, Vancouver Antifa. It says, "Tips for staying safe at our rallies." And then if you notice, it says, quote, "There is a strong possibility that right-wing groups, Nazis, Soldiers of Olden, KKK, Blood and Honor, /police may attempt to identify/harass people." Are you serious? Right-wing Nazi groups here in Vancouver. How delusional are these people? These are the types of people that think anyone who votes conservative are a Nazi, I guess. I can assure you, though, no such right-wing groups showed up. But I was heartened by the fact that there were 2 to 3 supporters of Trump who showed up to defy this group.
I heard it was happening and I had my hat with me, so I was like, why not?
Did you support Donald Trump or you just support
Donald Trump, yeah.
It's okay for you to be sexually assaulted. I'm sorry, comments like grab them by the pussy. He is a misogynist, he is a sexist, he's a fascist.
As you saw, the mere presence of those red hat wearing Trump supporters was enough to trigger that one lady into our first fascist claim of the night. Of course, many others had something similar to say.
Some of us have to fear for the lives of ourselves and our friends and our loved ones. And some of us...
Do you feel that Canada is different, though, with the election of Justin Trudeau?
No, because Justin Trudeau put out a statement saying that he supports Trump and that he's welcoming him in. He's being a puppet and he's doing what everyone's telling him to do.
So you're...
Here, people in Peterborough, some of my friends are having hijabs ripped off of their heads.
Now, it wasn't all low-information protesters. There were a few Americans in the crowd. After all, Vancouver is home to the largest American expat community. And this gentleman from New York seemed to have much more legitimate reasons for opposing Donald Trump than any of the Canadians I spoke with.
Less than a decade ago, he was a very moderate Democrat. He supported things like universal health care. He was always pro for a woman's right to choose. And he had generally what we would consider moderate progressive policies. Based on the opportunism that he saw in this recent election, I think he moved radically to the far right, much to the chagrin of New Yorkers. So I think New Yorkers really believe that he's a bit of a chameleon, that he's untrustworthy, and that he'll say and do anything to get elected.
See, now there's someone who has his facts straight, has a formulated opinion based on them, and decided Donald Trump wasn't for him. And that's democracy. Now, if you want the complete opposite of that level-headed middle-aged New Yorker, check out this local millennial anti-Trump hipster.
So you think people should piss on Trump Tower?
Yes, slumlords hate piss. He's a slumlord.
Do you actually have anything productive to say, or you just want to come here and tell people to piss on Trump Tower?
Pissing is productive.
They're just looking for copy for their website to make us look bad.
Making life as difficult as possible for them is always going to be productive.
Right, because if you can't win, cheat.
Do you not know how obstructionism actually works? It's important to take a stand and block offensive legislation.
Even as a Canadian.
Absolutely.
There you have it, the modern liberal hipster calling on people to piss on Trump Tower, and conducting himself in front of the camera using language only heard at leftist rallies. It's sad. You saw how that gentleman warned him as well about who I was and who I work for. Well, that would be Bob Ages of the Council of Canadians, who are funded by Americans, by the way. Bob is a nice enough guy, but he's at every protest warning people not to talk to me. Between Vancouver Antifa and the Council of Canadians, it's clear the protest was heavily organized and well-funded to get the numbers out. Just as in the US, many of the protests are being funded and organized by very experienced people. And in the case of Vancouver, well, 200 or 250 people is about the size of every protest under the sun at the Vancouver Art Gallery. So in other words, it was nothing new. For the Rebel.media, I'm Christopher Wilson. You know, we talk about Trump and American politics a lot on this channel, so make sure you hit subscribe on our YouTube channel and never miss a video.